Discovered the greatest heights of magical power. I achieved everything and anything I desired, except to find one of them again. And inevitably, someone would remind me through their ugliness that somewhere, something as beautiful and perfect as that divine spirit existed. People will hurt you. People will try to use you. But this thing was different. Yes, I could trust it, and it would protect me from the callousness of others.
How curious. You are mortal, but your steps resound with a burden greater than any one mortal might ever hope to bear. More curious still is your presence here. The great scale is not idly moved, nor is my reverie broken without cause. What is your purpose? Of the Weeping King's disciples, we were the first. Standing on the edge of the midden, we bore witness to him, transforming our people into something more. We vowed to never let that memory fade. Though death did call, we remained in this world, so that the knowledge of the Weeping King persisted. Along with the Weeping King, it was Kael'rod with whom I watched the rise of winter. We were fated to be the first Tender and Delver. I think too long have we been in these contemplations, isolated. When this affair is over, I think we will reunite in earnest. They are the heart of this collective. A Delver can take the sorrows into their being like the Weeping King did. Becoming a Delver means mastering his art. In the beginning, it venerated death, but in time the house was revered by Winter Fae for its sacrifice. The sorrows, they were meant to stand as a monument to the work of the house, and now they stand on being used as a tool for war. Despicable. Of that order, I was the first. I had the strength to answer the Weeping King and take the burden of other Fae, but I could not hear the sorrows within them. And so I was to honor the Midden and tend its depths, so that nature would forever know that we have honored her call for decay. Kael'rod and I have lived long in this world, it is true. But our choice was not driven by some manner of self-preservation. It was to learn. All Fae return their life energy to Ashara on death. But the nature of Winter Fae, their essence, lies in the decomposition and decay of all things. Kael'rod and I have forsaken being reborn anew to embrace the rotting of the corporeal world among us. That is where nature truly lies. And so I am finally exhumed. But Bizarane is not the King of Sorrows from whom I hoped to draw summons. Indeed, I know the location of the Sorrows. They were never meant to be retrieved, but neither were they meant to be exploited. Before I go, I must request that you rouse my counterpart, Kael'rod. The ages have sent our paths together. I will not break it now. A penance of sorts. Long ago, Kael'rod and I served the Weeping King. Of Tenders and Delvers, we were the first. But the Weeping King soon left this world for Ashara. And when he did, the house stopped serving death and began serving the court of winter. That was not what we followed the Weeping King for. So we came here to contemplate death. It is what the Weeping King would have intended. When we first came to this place, we vowed we would not see each other until our contemplations were complete. I thought that day would never come. As I was on one side of the scale, you will find him on the other. I will leave this cell and wait for you to find him. He is on the other side of the great scale. You will need to rebalance the scale to reach him. Goodbye.
Sorrow precedes you, mortal. It is almost enough to shift the great scale on its own. It has been centuries since my reverie was last disturbed. For what cause are you here? What could a mortal possibly want with me? I was another of the wretches that the Weeping King saved when he first walked into the Feylands. When he pulled the rot of winter from me, I learned how I too could do the same. So I learned the finer points of his magic, and followed him as the first delver. Amalur and I have been apart for some time. I think it will be good when this business is over to resume our meditations together. Though all of the house are the followers of the Weeping King, the Delvers are his true disciples. They can delve into the sorrows of another, just as he did. It was formed as a way to keep the winter traditions of decay and rot while building a winter court. But in time, we lost true sight of what the essence of winter was. The sorrows are the inheritance of the House of Sorrows, so to speak. We have been working at delving for centuries, collecting and shaping this magic, but we had never thought that it could be exploited. Do the Tuatha revere nothing? They are Alarain's orders. In many ways, they are the stewards of the House of Sorrows, while delvers deal in the spiritual, tenders see to the corporeal. That moniker holds no meaning to a true Fae. What is age to the ageless, to the immortal? Among our kind he was, and he remains singular. None could do now what he did, to naturally find the sorrows in others and delve into their being. And though he formed the House of Sorrows, though he saw the birth of the Court of Winter, he did not remain. By choice or fate, he went to Ashara, never to return. I think this war has exhausted all other Winter Fae who knew the Weeping King as he walked. But though Amalur and I remain, I can scarce recall him. I have heard of your work in reaching Amalur. If she wishes to aid this King of Sorrows, then I will echo her approval. But learning the location of the Sorrows is not merely answering a question asked. More than knowledge will be needed to reach the Sorrows. We will meet her in time. You must be patient, mortal. Very well. And so the eldest look upon each other once more. It has been some time since I have seen Amalur mortal. For that I am thankful. But Bizarrain will need more than knowledge to reach Sorrows. He will need a key which lies in Sincere, the hollow of the Weeping King. That is correct. It is a difficult thing to ask of a mortal. A Fae would be better suited to navigate the hollow. But time is fleeting. But you will not perform this task alone. One of us will aid in recovering the key from Sincere, and the other will instruct Bizarrain on how to reach the Sorrows. It falls to you to choose. Not for your end goal. Both of us are familiar with the Weeping King's Hollow. But I wield magic, and Amalur her Fae blades. It will be a hard road, mortal. We can complement your skills or bolster them. Let it be so. She will accompany you to Sincere, and I will return to the House of Sorrows to instruct Bizarrain on how to claim the Sorrows. I wish you luck in your task, mortal. Keep well after Amalur. Very well.
Then we leave Caelra to the instruction of this King of Sorrows. It is perhaps the best choice. It is suited to him after all. I will shadow step to Sincere and wait for you there. We must move quickly. Goodbye.
hunter runs. The hunter runs. Swiftly, swiftly for our lives. A mortal skirt of chain. A mesh of links forged in secret. The hunter runs. The hunter runs. In the chausses of the Fey Hunter.
Like the gilded ghosts of youth, the curving plates of fey-like scrolls decorate the life's guard of this impostor. It says, "I am like you, Fey Spirit," and shimmers with a brilliant gleam. This cuirass of the Fey Hunter.
strength of contempt, fear, and hate courses through the rushing veins to the very fingertips. The instruments of war are readied, light in the grip.
By the gods, it was horrible. He killed them all, and nothing could stop him. It was Dren, that freak who guards the House of Pride. He told us to leave, but we thought we could beat him. He's just one Fae, and not even a Tuatha, but nothing hurt him, and he slaughtered us all. The worst thing was, he seemed sorry to kill us. We'd heard the legends of Dren the Bloody, unbeatable defender of the House of Pride. But you know how Fae are with their stories. We were going to be the ones who beat him, and opened the path to Alabastra for the army. We were going to be heroes, you know? Then Dren told us to turn around or we'd die. And God's help us, we didn't turn around. You can turn around and run, like me.
At last, you come, and we can recover the key. I knew the Tuatha had taken hold of Cluricon, but I never thought it would be like this. When I last walked here, it was a solemn place, but beautiful. Kind Fae tended to the corners and halls. Now it lies silent, corrupted, and sullied. But we cannot dwell on what has transpired. To reach the key to the sorrows, we must first seek 3 votives in addition to this one. They will grant us passage. We must go deeper still into Sincere. The way is not open, however, to one that does not bear the proper votives. The votives were originally borne by Fae that tended this hollow, but I think they are held by something more sinister now. Goodbye. is fleeting, mortal. We must recover the key to the sorrows. Goodbye. So you have gathered all the votives. Then we may continue onward to the next trial we must face, the Crying Eyes. When we reach them, then I will tell you more on the subject. They are deeper in the dungeon. Press forward and we shall reach them. Goodbye. The way is clear. Come, let us press onward. There is still another challenge to overcome. Before we can reach the key, we must bypass the Crying Eyes. Then the key to the sorrows will be ours again. Goodbye. Here, we have reached the Crying Eyes. When this hollow was first shaped, those statues did not weep. But now they weep for all eternity. They alone guard the way to the key. You must approach them, mortal. They will show you the way forward, if only you answer them. Approach the Crying Eyes and observe. They show you the knowledge you need to advance. Answer what they ask, and we shall be free to continue. Goodbye. Time is fleeting, mortal. We must recover the key to the sorrows. Goodbye. You have come. You have come. You have come. Time is fleeting, mortal. We must goodbye. That is the key to the sorrows, mortal. It is perhaps not the sort you are used to, but that is certainly it. It is a branch of the ancient and wizened tree whose roots touch this world and Ashara, the plane of magic to which all Fae belong. It is a branch of the gallows tree. The sorrows take the form of the gallows tree in both realms, and this branch creates the bridge between them. Come, let us ferry it to Bizarane. Goodbye.
You have the key to the sorrows. That was well done. Indeed, everything you have done is more than I could have possibly hoped for. My reliance on you to this point was never my initial plan. I only needed Kadarok dead at the hands of someone else. But when I learned how willing you were to hound the Tuatha, I saw you would rise to every occasion. You became my faithful instrument. How could Saturnin have eluded the minds of so many for these long years? Simple. He was a ruse. His existence was fabricated. While all eyes watched for Saturnin, another was free to wage his war, namely me. All for the glory of Gadflow and our god. When you killed the Baelor, I saw an opportunity to end the house and the mortal armies simultaneously. You became my road to a perfect victory. You mean, why not announce my intent in a more obvious and boorish, or shall we say, mortal manner? I had to have the sorrows, but they were lost. It took years before I even learned of the Eldest, much less their location. To reach the Eldest, I needed this house to die. To do that, I needed a rebellion. To do that, I needed an assassination. To do that, I needed you. True, I do not share the face of my brethren. As I explained to Gadflow, it was a necessary part of the plan. I have not worn this mask without sacrifice. Too long have I gone without feeling the warmth of Prismeer or the love of my god. But soon this will end, and I can take my rightful place again. Your ignorance of Fey culture, meaning your intonation, made you ideal. You lacked the context others might have used to expose me. But there is more. You are the hero of Mel Senshir. You may not admit it, but you are a symbol to mortals, a rallying point for their armies. Who better to be the blade that I used to kill the Alfar? Who better to destroy the House of Sorrows? It makes my triumph complete. Perfect. You seriously think your words might stir me to forsake a plan that has finally culminated after 20 years? Your audacity disgusts me. There is nothing to be offered, or given, or threatened, mortal. I cannot be stopped here, and I cannot be followed. But take heart. You will die long before the sorrows descend upon the minds of your mortal armies. Mercer will gut you here. Farewell.
No, they're gonna kill the eldest. You survived. For better or worse, I know not. The house is in ruins, the eldest lie butchered, and Bizarane has betrayed us to the Tuatha. He must be denied. For our honored sorrow, our broken pride, our due vengeance. He cannot be allowed to use the house for war.
Once he was a mighty figure among us, but when the house reached an accord with the Tuatha, he would not accept the terms and left. I know he fights for the sake of our people, but in truth, I have always feared him. It is hard to trust one that gives into war so soon. We are all but gone, and all that remains in our stead are whisperers. In many ways, we were the vanguards of winter. We became the harbingers of this doom. But there is some small hope in knowing that there was life before the House of Sorrows, in the time of the Weeping King. He is the Faithlog Tocht, the choking vine. He reaches from briars dark and unknown to strangle the life from us. He is at the birthplace of summer and winter, where the Weeping King first pooled the anguish and decay inherent in all winter fae, Ashara. It is the plane from which all fae descend when they are reborn, and to which they return when they die. It is a place of pure magic. I fear you may have had enough of secrets, but here is mine. I am the Weeping King reborn. Bizarre needed a key to reach the Sorrows. I do not. I did not always know. When you went to Amalur, I meditated beneath the gallows tree, and a part of me that had long slumbered awakened. It makes sense now. Why I could practice delving when all had lost the art. Why I can commune with sorrows. Be it fate or chance, we must take advantage of this. I think that as the Weeping King, I can bring us to the Sorrows in time to stop Bizarre. It is both near and far. It will be difficult for a mortal to understand. Ashara is an ethereal plane, another realm of existence. In the Midden, the barrier between this realm and Ashara is weak, and we can exploit that. I do not know what will happen if I attempt to bring you into Ashara, but you have a strong will. That alone may save you. Bizarre has a head start on us. However short, it is likely still enough. Be on your guard. We must hurry. You have a strong force of will, stronger than I felt possible. I have never heard tell of a mortal that could stand in Ashara. But we are here. I can recall now, vaguely. I walked this place before, and shaped the ground. That tree in the center, it is the embodiment of the Sorrows. Bizarre will be there, but he has prepared himself. This barrier keeps us from him, and there are other magics at work. It is a place the Weeping that I crafted to house the Sorrows. Beyond its borders is Ashara, the plane of magic. When Fae are born, their life force comes from Ashara, and to Ashara their life force returns upon death. This is a powerful place. The tree in the center of the space, the inversion of the gallows tree that you've seen in the Midden, that is the form of the Sorrows. The Midden is the cradle of winter. It is connected to this realm where the winter fae descend from. The gallows tree serves to bridge the Midden and Ashara. Yes, we can. I can sense the conduits the magic follows, and there are weak points, nexuses of energy that we can exploit. But Bizarre is no fool. He will not leave them unguarded. And I feel strange presences. There is something waiting, mortal. Something dreadful. Bizarre is correct in that he can manipulate the magic of this place, but we can manipulate it as well, if not as easily. The barrier is strong, but it feeds off nexuses of energy and those are vulnerable. We must destroy them to reach Bizarane. We must hurry. We must be quick.
We meet again, mortal. Can I truly be here? Standing before the sorrows? I remember no swords, fire, and then nothing. But he brought me back to fight you. I can't. I'm sorry, mortal. So sorry.
We must be quick. We must be quick.
You dare tread here? A mortal dare shows himself in the sacred lands of the House of Sorrows. I have been dead a short time, and already I learned so much since he raised me. You are the cause of all this. Bizarane relied on you for his plans. Because of you, the house is dead.
Finally, you have come. I must admit, I did not give you credit when last we faced each other. And now, I am here. My master has raised me to protect his labours, and I will oblige him. You may have bested me previously, but you will not do so again. Perhaps if I take your head here, my master will have faith in me once again. Shall we find out?
And so you have finally reached me. I have waited, mortal. The longest of any I have waited. And now, Bizarrain has raised me against my will to be part of his design. I sought to stop him. I found the plan he had conspired, and I fled the house, for I knew not what to do. But I could have stopped this scheme. And then you came and killed me. And now I am a puppet to his will. He cannot be stopped, mortal. Bizarrain cannot be stopped.
You have slain what vestiges of your past I could conjure, and the barrier has fallen. So now, we are here. You think your presence here can stay my spells? The last words have been uttered. You are too late to stop me. Save your plea. We are beyond the point of discourse. Draw your weapon.
Bizarrain may be dead, but the death blow is still his. The sorrows have already begun escaping their seal. We need to act quickly, or this will all be for nothing. I must seal the sorrows within myself. I do not know for sure. I will be forced to remain in Ashara lest the sorrows break free once more. Whether I will live or die is unclear. But I cannot be afraid. It must be done. For the good of mortals. For the good of Fae. It is a noble sentiment, mortal, but you do not understand. They must be anchored in Ashara, and you cannot remain here. Only I can. But please, bear witness to this last act. Tell the world what happened here, how the House of Sorrows ended. We must hurry.
I don't know if I'll ever take on another apprentice, not after Karth's betrayal. It just goes to show that we gnomes should stay with our own. Farewell.
Nice to see you. Faithful, a child of dust is here for death. Grant their pitiful wish. Tirnoch watches over you, blesses you with her unyielding reign. Fight all your life for. We will carry on when you are dust. The undying mortal from the well has returned. Your mere existence is an abomination against all things. How can you not see this? A child of dust who lives after death. A creature separated from your fate. A being with neither purpose nor reason. You were a mistake. A You way mortals found to pervert the world. Soon you shall be cleansed from my lands. Stole the secrets of magic, and now they come to take our land. But all that they find here, shenanigans, is but a fleeting shadow before the whirlwind of Tiernok. You struggle against the force of a simple army. How will you fare, I wonder, against the power of a god? Of course you aren't. You may be a foolish, unclean sin against the natural order, but I'll grant that you're no coward. The only solution is for you to be cleansed when Tiernok the Merciful comes to our world. Soon.
You. You are the one who slew the Baelor at Melson Shear. I was at that battle as well. It was my unit that drove the Tuatha off the southern wall. Please, you must help me. Those Jotun will not let me survive much longer. Many soldiers of the Alpha army were drafted, but I volunteered. I could not watch as my southern cousins were annihilated. I've been fighting alongside my brethren for years, and just as I was starting to think that this war would never end, you showed up. Thank you, hero, for giving me hope. They are vile creatures. I do not know how anyone can stand to be around them. You would have to be desperate to hire them as mercenaries. The wind is ferocious, the rocks are sharp, and the water is still and black. You could not find a more inhospitable place. The key to this cage is held by a Jotun rune lord just down the road. That fat bastard comes by here every morning and taunts me with it. Please, retrieve it and get me the hell out of here. After the siege was broken, my commander saw the Witch Knight Claren fleeing to the east. He thought that if we could catch him before he made it to Alabastra, we could get rid of one of the Tuatha generals. We did not count on Claren having a refuge full of Jotun mercenaries. Thank you. The Jotun Rune Lord is just down the road. Please hurry, for I have unfinished business in the keep on the hill. That Jotun Rune Lord down the road, he possesses it. I only wish that I could kill that fat brute myself. I have never encountered another Fae like him. He is one of the most sadistic generals of the Tuatha army. I do not think he even cares about their religion anymore. He just wants to see the world bathed in blood. Good luck. me that barrel of Cruddock slime died painfully. I have another favor to ask of you, hero. The Witch Knight Claren is holed up in Gennig, the keep on the hill. Meet me inside so that we can hunt him. We cannot let one of the Tuatha's generals escape. We need to go to Gennig, the keep on the hill. Meet me inside. Good luck.
A mortal dares to stand against Tirnoch? Strike him down and salt the earth of his grave. You shall be a sacrifice for Tirnoch herself. My lieutenants shall see to it personally. Try as you might, struggle as you will, you are deluded. There is no winning for you, only death. Yes, but death as you define it means little to us. The great cycle returns each Tuatha as Tuatha again. And every time they do, Tirnoch gets stronger. Soon, she will be born into this world. You will witness her power personally, and it will be the last thing your mortal flesh shall ever feel.
Godfrey's voice has fallen silent in this land. The Tuatha are frightened and disorganized. They run back to Alabastra to make their final stand. We owe you much. Our eyes are opened and our blades unsheathed. Cluricon is won, but the House of Pride stands between us and the final goal. We are now free to press forward, and I can take you to an old friend who knows the next step. Yes, we will take you to his filthy tower on the island of Danistar. He hides within, and has not emerged in some time. I would like nothing more than to let him rot there. But he knows of a way past the sentinel of the House of Pride. But there will be more danger on the path ahead. Take these blades to prepare for whatever troubles you will face at his tower or beyond. Far to the southwest, there is a darkened tree by the Caelid coast. Meet me there, and we can walk the shadow to the gnome's tower. Aelin Shear will be waiting there. She was most insistent to join in whatever business you have with the Collector of the Dead. Meet me at the Caelid coast. The Winter Fae know of a shadow path to Ventrinius Island. We will meet again at the shadowed tree on the Caelid coast.
Walking through living shadow, eh? I'll leave that one to you. I won't lie. Aylin's been a big help. She saved me once or twice at Melson Shear when she could have just let me die. Still can't shake the feeling that she's hiding something. But whatever it is, it's probably not too sinister. Probably. I had wondered what happened to the Winter Fae when Gadflow took control. Seems that they formed the Bitter Frost. They've got as much to fight for as our kind, and nothing left to lose. We couldn't ask for a better ally. Gadflow is just some trumped-up Fae who started hearing voices, I gather. But a crazy with an army is still a threat, sure enough. Old Sidon's a snake, but he's still on our side. Why, I remember when he helped rescue my fiancée from Rassanon, back in my younger days. Of course, she called off the wedding and just mooned over Sidon after all that. He has that effect. No, I think you can handle that one by yourself. I have some work to do with the army in Cluricon.